Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent. It is war out there. It is literally war. You should see what I got in store for you today. Let's kick off. So the SEC faces a brutal Ripple reckoning with federal judge granting Brad Garlinghouse requests for Binance documents. What a way to kick off the show. Thank you, Judge. This is great. As we know, the SEC has been in a legal battle with Ripple from December 23rd last year. And it has been ferocious. At times, it's been stale. We haven't heard anything. Sometimes we can go 2-3 weeks without nothing. But when it does come out, it comes out strong and fast. And Brad Garlinghouse has literally come out and blown up social media with his latest statements, which I'll go over in a moment. But this news, the fact that the judge has granted access to those Binance documents is brilliant. Brilliant. I cannot tell you how many times, I don't know where we're at, like 8-0 to Ripple, 9-1 or something. Like, it has been, from the start, it has been a Ripple show in this weak, very weak case, right? So, exciting news and positive, very positive for Ripple and for Brad, of course, which is really important. Now, Ripple CEO compares SEC crypto clarity to a drunk in denial. That's right. This is how vocal he's become of it. Now, generally, Brad Garlinghouse is, a gentleman, very well spoken, chooses his words really carefully. But this time, he's come out quite aggressive. He goes, in my judgment, if you're dealing with an alcoholic that doesn't want to admit that they have an alcohol problem, to say that they have certainty, we have clarity, is like the alcoholic saying, I don't have a problem. This is the elephant in the room. I mean, hey, that is that takes courage, and I'm sure, or at least I hope, that Brad had some legal advice from the 23 lawyers that they have before making these statements, and I'm sure that they thought about it well. But a lot of this is clearer than some of the entrepreneurs would like to think. That was what Gensler said. But overall, I think the frustration from the way the SEC is trying to perceive themselves is starting to shine through. And I think that's why Brad came out and has made the statements that he's made. And I think it's fair. This has been dragging on for too long. And I'm very impressed. Takes a lot of courage, to come out so publicly and make the type of statements that he's made. But good, call them out, right? It's ridiculous what they're up to. It's the only nation that is considering them to be potentially a security compared to Asia, Europe, everywhere you go. Japan and Asia didn't even think about it, right? They were some of the first to come on board. Literally a month after the case had been announced, they were like, yeah, sure, America, you can think they're a security. We actually think that they're a currency. So it's fascinating to see how this is evolving and what happens next, because that really is important to see. Now, SEC versus Ripple is not subject to the SEC under the pending bill, said the attorney. So this would mean that XRP is a digital asset and subject to regulations by the CFTC and not the SEC. This is big. This is massive news, right? So attorney has found the managing partner of Hogan & Hogan has reviewed the proposed legislation introduced by the US representative in late July. The Digital Asset Market Structure and the Investor Protection Act remains to protect consumers and promote innovation by incorporating digital assets into existing financial regulatory structures. So under this, XRP would be a digital asset, and it would go under the CFTC and not the SEC. It's massive to see this unfold. And so for overall, the last couple of days have been very bullish in regards to the case, in regards to this legal clarity. And from the start, Brad, XRP, Ripple, everyone involved, they set out and said, you want to take us to court? Sure, we'll get the exact legal clarity that we want to squash this once and for all and get moving on the mission that they have. So very, very cool. This is on Finance Feeds, by the way. So financefeeds.com. And you can find this article, the SEC versus Ripple. XRP is not subject to SEC under pending bill. Now, when that bill goes through, it's literally game over. Like, ciao. Nice to know you, SEC. Hopefully we don't see you again. Now, the SEC and what Brad has mentioned, of course, has made headlines, has gone out there, and obviously it is taking over the internet because obviously, the statement that he's made is quite harsh. It was heavy. So in 2018, Bill Hinman said that ETH isn't a security, and Jake Clayton agreed. But just weeks ago, Hinman filed a sworn affidavit in court saying that the SEC still has not taken any position or expressed a view on ETH status. So how is the market supposed to have clarity? So calling them out, telling it exactly how it is. If you in 2018 you say something, and then in 2021 you say you never said it, and actually you're not even too sure yet. Let me tell you why they're saying that. Because after they go after the Ripple and lose, the next three that they're going to go after is Tether, Binance, and Ethereum 2.0. Now, you heard it here, and there are many, many articles out there that are going on saying already that Ethereum 2.0 is going to be under the radar in America. So keep an eye out on that, because I think that's exactly why they said, no, we haven't made a status on Ethereum. They're going to go after them next. Watch what happens. Now, as we move forward, Senator proposes infrastructure bill amendment to lighten crypto regulations requirements, and this here again is exactly what we were talking about earlier. And under this, Ripple would be under their digital bill, under their bill, which means that the SEC will not be involved anymore. So that is a big news. We'll keep a very, very close eye over the coming weeks how that unfolds. 250 million XRP tokens have been moved. We always keep an eye on this and what's going on and what's happening, but it is on Whale Alert. By the way, if you're not on Whale Alert, it is amazing, right? It's on Twitter. You just click on it, and it just keeps you up to date with what is going on and what is happening. Like for example, 43 minutes ago, this much USDT was burned by the USDT Treasury. How much was minted, and just large movements, right? So whenever there's a huge amount of movements happen, for example, 4,000 Ethereums were transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance. What does that mean? How does that work? Why is it happening? Like that you don't get to know. But that's a lot of Ethereums, by the way, being moved. So that it's good. It's good to keep an eye on it, and especially during huge volatility, it can give you a little bit of clarity of what might be happening. Now, the Russian court orders Sberbank to remove crypto trading restrictions. So while it's not an XRP news, we're talking about it is important. The Russian court has asked for the country's largest bank to unblock a user's account after it was frozen for transactions related to crypto trading. So Russia is saying, hey, we don't want none of this. Like, we want people to be able to trade cryptocurrency here. The bank itself actually blocked it. But again, it just goes to show that the world is moving pro-crypto. That's the main message that I want you to get from it. Now, infrastructure bill inches through Senate as Schumer pledges to stay until it passes. So Schumer has actually said, I'm going to stay until this thing goes through. So it is coming, and it's going to be a very, very monumental time when it goes. So I'm going to be keeping all over the news channels, make sure that that we find out more as soon as it passes, because it will be massive. Now, Xabo has been bought by Coinbase in a large deal. Speaking of Coinbase, they're a little bit in trouble. So investors and substantial losses have opportunity to lead with Coinbase Global class action lawsuit. So Coinbase are being sued. We'll keep an eye on that, about what's going on, what is happening, what are the allegations around it, and what are the main critical points around it. But this is yet again another example how leaving things on exchanges can leave you vulnerable. I mean, they're being sued right now. Let's see how it unfolds. Of course, cases don't happen overnight, but just be mindful of that. There's been a lot of talk about cyber hacking. There's been a lot of talk about, is it safe to have things on an exchange? Please do your own research on this and make sure that you're doing something that is that protects your wealth. The XRP MasterCard debit card currently only available in America. so it's not available in Australia or other countries at the moment. But a MasterCard debit card with 2% cashback in XRP. Really cool to see. And we'll keep an eye out as other nations open. But essentially, it has the reward system, that cashback system, like many other programs do. But 2% cashback in XRP is really, really, really cool to see. So we'll keep an eye on that as more countries open up. Let's jump into Atani. Let's have a look at some of the indicators today. All right. So as we kick off Atani today, we got on the 12-hour. We can see the movement that has happened. I did mention that there was that large amount of money that had been moved into Tether. I knew that would signal a green day. It's been very green. I mean, Ethereum has been dominating today, with 8% up, Uniswap with 10% up, and it, a lot of them are moving into 10s and 11s, but Ethereum from the top two is moving really, really good. It touched to 2,700, 2,720 earlier today. So very cool to see this happening and see this unfold. From a 12-hour perspective on the MACD, we're in a bearish segment, but overall on the daily we are very, very well. I did touch base that we could see 67 cents if Bitcoin continued to dip. It hasn't. It has recovered, and it is looking like it's starting to move again. Now, when we look at the hourly chart, we can see that we had some movement. Now we've gone back down a little bit. I do think that we'll go a little bit more, and then we'll continue up. But I do think that overall the movement is starting to come back. The shift is starting to come back, and I think we're going to start to see the prices ramp up based on the indicators. But let's have a look at some drawings. Now, as we kick off the drawings, we can see this type of formation happening. Next stop is 80 cents, and then we'll see how it handles support pressure at 80 cents. But that is rough, approximately the structure that we're going to be following to move towards that. And then when we get to 80, we'll see just how strong the resistance is, and then we'll see how we go. Now, overall, if we look at how potentially this formation could be forming, and we'll keep obviously a very, very close eye on that. But we could see ourselves going up and touching maybe 90, fall down a little bit, continue down this path, and then break out and go towards 2 if we follow this formation. And it's a big if, but we got to keep an eye out on all these things. Overall, as this formation has been holding really, really strong, the next stop is moving towards that 110. Break the 110, 170, break the 172, go 220. If we go 220 and then find support above 220, then the next stop will be 330, which couldn't come sooner. Very, very exciting, of course, to see it happen. And for some, they've been waiting since 2017, so it will be a celebration. Because I definitely know that some of you here on the channel have been holding since 2017, 2018. So it's been a long time in the making. And then as we move forward and find new, it'll be new time highs, so it will be in uncharted territory. But I am of the opinion, and it's a personal opinion, of the opinion that we will see 14 and then have a nice retrace towards 6, 7, and then go off into the distance. But until then, let's keep a close eye on everything that's going on. Let's have a keep a close eye on the bill that is currently happening and how that will impact Ripple and XRP. And of course, we'll keep an eye on Brad's Twitter handle and what else he comes up with next. If you learned something new today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And as always, thank you, and I look forward to see you on the next one.